Okay. I am so excited. I think I have not been this excited for something in so long. Like, so long, guys. There's a movie or series coming out. So Eric Good, which I've had the pleasure of meeting and actually witnessing filming. I don't know how, I guess I know why I missed it, but like I didn't realize that it was already coming out. The Monsters of God series, which I'm so excited about. I had heard about this ages ago, but I don't watch the news. I don't pay attention to the news. I get my news and information through other sources, but anyways, I'm so excited. Like it's coming out August 6th. This is what I give talks on. This is what I've spent the past few years, like specifically focused on, like ethical talks on animals and the illegal, and like I fight the illegal black market trade. Like that is what I am studying and working to do. And this is amazing. I've been a whistleblower for a few years now on people within the reptile industry and animal industry, of individuals that are not good people, not just abuse to animals, but actually like abuse to humans, people in the industry or people not in the industry. But we have these people within the community and they need to be outed for the injustices. And I don't even know where to begin. I did a bunch of voice notes, like trying to help myself to gather my thoughts, but I think I'm just like so excited about this whole thing that I don't even know where to begin other than it's okay. So I'm noticing the reptile industry going, like the reptile hobby industry, like the buying and selling and trading of animal, like reptile community blowing up. They are not happy. They are furious. And what's funny is that it's not funny, I guess, in a way, because some of them might just not understand, or they've been just fed kind of, a fanciful side of the industry and not the reality of what actually is happening within the industry. A lot of new people. It's very much like zookeepers. If anybody that's watching works at a zoo, knows this, that zookeepers, it's pretty much a revolving door. People come and go very often. It's just like the animal, reptile specifically industry. I've spent 25 years of my life. I'm 42 this year, and 25 years of my life in the reptile industry. I've seen, since I was 17 years old, I've seen, just all sorts of stuff, heard all sorts of stuff. And then it becomes normalized, like normal. And then the structure of the industry is like, we ignore, we sweep under the rug. We can't have this leak out. We can't have this devastating campaign against us, because we want to be able to still have the animals, because directly, if somebody gets the R word, if she gets R'd, then she's a problem. Like, we need to sweep this under the rug. There may be a campaign temporarily to be like, oh, we're outing this guy's terrible, and then he might get banned, but usually it's temporarily. A couple years goes by, people forget, new people come in, and they're like, oh, who's this guy? The reptile industry is extremely forgiving to men in the industry. And I say men specifically, it does happen occasionally to women. There was just an incident apparently with video evidence. As far as I'm concerned, I was not there when it happened. I don't know. I didn't see the footage. I was asked to give a statement about my experiences with this individual that essentially assaulted a woman, a pregnant woman, at one of the reptile shows. I will say NARBC, North American Reptile Breeders Conference in Tinley. Chicago people, Vet Your Own, that show seems to be just a huge draw for assaults, sexual assault, sexual harassment, all sorts of bad stuff. It is. I've been only to Tinley one time, but anyways, you see a lot of this, good old boys club where it's just like protect our own because we want to be able to keep doing things the way that we're doing it so that we can have animals and continue to own the things that we want to own. There's a drive, this level of passionate drive, and the passion is so misplaced. There's a level of like loyalty to USARG, for instance, in the reptile industry, which there will be a whole video that I'm going to be doing on USARG and TTPG and all these other nonprofits that are for the hobby. They're hobby driven, and they're not what you think they are. And newcomers, so anybody that's tired of it, like me, we leave the industry. Like we leave, we go, we see that nothing's ever going to change. I try to work from the inside. I've tried to talk to higher up individuals within the industry. Even some of the sponsors of shows and stuff, I've even appealed to use their voice and be a platform for change. And all of them are terrified to go against the grain. It's like they're going to get canceled within the industry if they go against this person or go against this thing. If they say anything against, this guy R-ed a girl or attempted to R a girl or inappropriately touched her or whatever. And it's a really dark, disgusting world. I was just a turtle person. That's what I focused on, was just turtles. I have kept other reptiles over my life. I've worked with other species. I've obviously worked at zoos and stuff. I think if people don't know that are new to my channel, I've got over 20 years of experience at zoos, museums, actually 25 years of experience over zoos, museums, institutions, aquariums, and all that. So not just, and I've done in-field work, for research. I've, kind of like gone through all the different positions that you would go through in the animal world. Now I'm in animal and environmental law. And that kind of like systematically drew me there. And there's a lot of people that have deflected, not deflected, it's a terrible, I don't know, whatever word that is, have literally left and broken away from the hobby industry just because it is the amount of animal abuse and animal cruelty that you see like throughout shows is just hard to see. Like, I love animals. That's why I got into working with animals, was because I was so passionate about the environment, about animals, about plants, about fish. I actually started off in fish and plants originally, and then I broke into turtles when I was 17, and from there just became an obsession. I'm autistic, so everything becomes this insane obsession. But then I just kind of focused on turtles for a very, very long time. Now I'm obsessing on laws and this. But I'm so excited about Monsters of God. I think that the title is, I'd like to understand the meaning. If anybody in the comments below wants to explain the title to me a little bit more. Monsters, I can understand. Monsters of industry. Monsters of, animal farming or reptile farming, or I don't know, like I just feel like the title's kind of an interesting, like why of God. Maybe they'll explain it in one of the episodes why they chose God. Monsters of God, maybe like children of God, but they're monsters of God. I guess I don't necessarily think any of these guys are really that faithful, in my opinion, but maybe it's the illusion that they come off saintly. I have no idea. We can speculate all that we want. We'll just wait for this 5-part series to start, and I'm gonna cover every episode. I'm gonna do a video for kind of breaking down all the episode and what I've seen so far in my experience, my years decades now of experience working within the industry. I know that this is really gonna upset a lot of the industry people. I don't care. I'm not in the industry anymore. So cancel me, call me names. I mean, they will, and they'll say, oh, it's because she got, she had an assault happen to her some years ago and she's just bitter about what happened to her. Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't get injustice. I'm not necessarily bitter at this point. I just don't care. It's been years now, but they'll use these examples as why I'm speaking on this, why I do what I do. And in a way, it's not that it's still bitter or that I'm still broken from those things that happen, which a lot of people in that industry have had happen. But I just took the fuel of the negative and I decided to go into a constructive place because I was still passionate, obviously still very involved, still very well networked and connected, and I just wanted to do something for animals. And if there's animal cruelty happening, I want to change that. They call me dramatic. I wouldn't call myself dramatic. I would definitely call myself impassioned, but I would say in this situation, I think above anything is injustice. I hate injustice and I just want peace. I deeply need, debating topics because I'm autistic. It's just something that I need. But debate for me is actually very cool and calm, not emotional and triggering. But I guess not everybody knows how to fully debate. But anyways, so I saw that this is the title of this. They called it Obsession, or I guess the tagline is Obsession is a Dangerous Trade. And ooh, I love that. I absolutely think I kind of want a poster. Eric Good, if you see this, if anybody from Turtle Conservancy sees this, send me a poster of Monsters of God. I'll frame it, I'll put it in the back. I think that's a great tagline for that series. I haven't seen the series yet, but I feel like that's a great explanation, or I guess tagline for the industry of literally like an obsession, where I've literally been told by people in the industry that if anybody showed up, like if law enforcement or anybody showed up at their door to try and take away their animals, that they would do some really terrible things to those people. It's kind of scary, the level of I guess crazy that gets involved in it, the level of obsession that gets involved in. I can find, for me, I'm curious turtle, right? I'm extremely curious, and I do really love understanding life sciences, and I love to kind of challenge myself in ideas and animal care and just kind of like breaking the mold and finding new ways for things to work and challenging the norm within. And that's something that always drove me, with also being the love of all of this, was just driving me towards it. But anyways, I gotta stop talking about myself, my own situations, but I guess this is all speculating in my own opinion anyways, so I guess whatever. But there is a level of dangerous obsession, and it said in the description when I Googled it that people call it the fever. The fever. I've never heard of that. That is great, because you get so many people that are new to the industry that come in brand new, buy one crested gecko, buy one leopard gecko, and then they start talking to other people that have it, and they're seeing all these really cool morphs of these animals. They're like, oh, I want that. Oh, it's super easy. All I need is like a 10-gallon tank to do this and that. And they think it's just, and then it just kind of like gets crazier and crazier. They start buying more, taking in more and more, and before you know it, you've got 100 animals. It's super easy to get that fever, buy into the trade, and I think there's a level of that's what some people want to do. They want to groom other people to go into this industry. They want more people buying from them. I've stood in front of booths before with sellers that obviously these animals were bought, either farmed from another country or I mean, fell off the back of a truck. I have no idea, but they definitely don't look like he bred them. And definitely from the way he talked to the people when they asked him questions, giving horrible advice, like advice that somebody would have given when we didn't know any better, like 30 years ago. It's just crazy. And then of course there's, you know, I personally, I would love to see reptile expos, and I'll do a video about that. I'd love to see reptile expos get shut down. Personally, I think that it's a cesspool of horribleness, or at least the very least have live animals off limits at reptile shows. Maybe just do supplies, tanks, food, stuff like that, kind of like a home and garden show, you know, just not have the live animals there. Just because a lot of these animals, through transport, through just being in those rooms, sometimes they're really cold. Drafts are very common in those places. So like the chances of you buying an animal there and them getting a respiratory infection is like super high. But anyways, back to this. I've had this book forever, and I'm sure some of you have read it. Some of you should. So it's kind of like, I mean, I've been told all about it. I'm actually trying to read it and get it done before the series airs. But this is all about Tom Crutchfield. It's all about a lot of the guys that they talk about in the series were already written in this book. This book came out years ago. I'm not even sure when this came out. Let's see. Take a look and see when this book came out. Well, at least look at the copyright and see, because I think I got this relatively close to when it came out. Tale of Reptiles, Smugglers, and Skullduggery. I just love it. It says copyright 2011, so even if it wasn't out, this is first edition, 2011. Okay, so this has been out forever. 15 years. They're finally doing a series on it, which is fantastic. This is 15 years too late. This is 20 years too late. I'm just so excited, guys. This is what I do. This is who I am. At least now, at this point in my life, this is who I am, and this is the stuff that I talk on. So I'm just so excited. I know, again, there's so many people, I mean, like, the reptile people are literally posting in the group saying, boycott this series, don't let it out, what you can do to prevent this or to help people, you know, because they think that this series is going to destroy the reptile industry. They think that all these laws are just going to come down on them after this airs. And to me, it's kind of funny. It's like, because they know that this stuff happened. They know who these people are, and they're like, well, these are the bad eggs in our industry. And I'm like, well, why do y'all keep them in? Why are they still here? Why are y'all not vetting a lot of these people out? Because you don't really want to change and you want to ruffle feathers. It's not until somebody exposes it, writes a book on it. But most people, I don't even think were that upset when this came out. They weren't like, oh, this book came out and now all of a sudden we want, it's going to ruin the industry and we're going to, you know, have all these laws upon us and it's going to kill our ability to keep animals. No. Now, this is obviously more mainstream and more, you know, this is, I mean, worldwide, this is probably going to get seen, but it is a necessary thing to expose the dark sides of every part of our society. As human beings, the dark side always needs to be, the injustices and the evils need to be exposed. When I gave a talk, I gave an ethics talk at the Turtle Survival Alliance last year. I mean, it was one of those things where some of the stuff that I was saying, you know, people were really concerned what I was going to say and how I was going to say it and what my talk was going to truly be about. And I'll do, again, I'm sorry that I've been so absent. I will definitely do a video basically giving you the information that I gave in that lecture on animal ethics, like turtle ethics, and what I feel about the industry and who the evils are in the industry. Hopefully I can do some of this stuff before this comes out so I can be like, I got it before they did. but I mean, also I've given the lectures and stuff, so it's out there. But yeah, it's just funny. I would like to say that this wasn't coming, but this is a long time coming. We're hopefully transitioning now into a world of exposing and allowing whistleblowers to be whistleblowers and to allow tattletelling when people are doing things bad. It'd be nice to have that more mainstream instead of, because for instance, if, the reptile industry was doing a good job of getting the poachers, like as soon as we found out who the poachers were, getting those guys out. Almost everybody can identify a poached animal or understands that a poached animal is a poached animal. If you do any little bit of research, you can understand that that's not supposed to be here. But ignorance is bliss, right? So if I don't know and I don't know any better, then like, what's the harm? What's the foul? Like, now I've got this animal, so what am I supposed to do with this animal now? I've lived in that level of ignorance, for a long time in the reptile industry. I definitely wasn't big in the reptile industry, so to speak, in the hobby world. I knew a lot of people, but being a turtle person, I kind of was like more just kind of like going to shows to see other turtle people because we all live different places. We walk the shows. Very few shows have a lot of turtles, so it was more just like a meeting ground for us rather than a place to buy. I mean, we might buy some calcium, like a book, get some stickers. Like we're not the target audience, I feel like, at a lot of these reptile shows. But you still do have people, like everyday people, going to these shows and buying a sulcata and buying rudder sliders because they're kind of being force fed. Like, these are easy, these are no big deal, and then they get gigantic and then they're stuck with these animals they don't know what to do with. I would love to see change. I would love to have more education. I've tried so hard to advocate for a lot of this stuff, but the only thing I can say, I guess, to round out this video until the next one, if you want to make a difference, this is the difference you can make. Raise awareness for issues and problems. Be brave. I know it's hard to do this. I know it's challenging to do this. I know that a lot of what I say is going to upset some people, a small percentage of people that are obsessed with this industry, that this is their livelihood, this is their stuff. I have always advocated and told people that make selling animals their livelihood, that they really should have a plan B. Like, do this, but also have this. Because at any moment, laws can change. At any moment, you may not be able to do this anymore. And as somebody that's literally had a law passed where practically my entire collection had to be sent away because it was illegal to keep them. So I've lived it. I've done it. It was heartbreaking. It's hard, especially when you personally identify as a hobbyist. If that's like your personal identity, you've been doing it for years, I can understand being upset that these things are changing. Change is challenging. Change is scary. But I will tell you, you'll survive. You'll find another way. I know it sucks, but personally, I don't think this is going to make the big impact that you think. I think that it's going to raise awareness for the problems within the industry. I think it's going to make it more mainstream that there's issues and highlight the absolute dark, evil side of this industry that I despise. And we got to protect these animals in the wild. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if you're an absolutist with the captive and calling it, conservation. I do not care. I think you're wrong. I will 100% debate that, and that's fine. We can all have differing opinions. That's just something that's I'm a little bit more passionate about. But I'm so excited, guys. This is an exciting turn in the industry. Change is going to happen. Awareness is being put out there, and I'm just so excited that it's finally happening. I know that me giving a little ethics talks every once in a while, you know, was not going to be the great changing matter. I just hoped that, you know, at some point I'd have, you know, more followers or more people, a bigger audience, and people that were wanting to listen, that wanted to make a difference, to be different. These systems of how we're doing conservation even need to be changed. How we're managing laws needs to be changed. It's not just the reptile industry, it's just a lot of these laws and what we're doing for conservation directly are because of a lot of the evils within the industry. The evils kind of set, the industry sets the precedent for conservation, because it is literally in the top, 3 or 4 main reasons for the need for the conservation of these animals, of these endangered, critically endangered species. I mean, if you've lived as long as I have and you've seen, you know, the poaching and killing with Jane Goodall raising awareness for what they were doing to the chimps and the gorillas, and you still have those images, you know, burned into your brain, I would hope that you want to make a difference and want to make change. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be able to own a pet turtle. Maybe they don't need to own certain turtles, like Fly River turtles. I will always advocate for the animal first. People are of all different colors and flavors, so it's really hard to appease everybody, and I have no interest in appeasing anybody other than the welfare and care of animals. Would not consider myself a PETA person. Please don't message that I'm some PETA person, or, you know, comment below that I'm this and that. I mean, you can. It's depending on what country you're in when you watch this. In America, it's a free country, freedom of speech. But you can say what you want. This is who I am, what I'm trying to do, but I'm so excited. I will put out some more videos soon, kind of going over some more of this. I know this is like a longer video, and I kind of rambled. I started doing notes and you know, was trying to stay on point with a lot of what I wanted to talk about, but I'm just so excited. And I think I just needed a verbal diarrhea on here for a minute, just because of pure excitement. But yeah, I will be going over some of the comments and some of the rebuttals, or some of the, you know, stuff that people have been saying on in the reptile world, reptile hobby world, about what's going on and stuff, and maybe address some of that. I mean, I don't want to, I know, I want to be compassionate to those also that are in the industry, that are doing everything legally, that are doing everything the right way, and they're not trying to be naively say, I'm doing this for conservation. They're doing it because they love the animals, because they love their pets, you know? That was how I was. You know, all the few turtles that I still own are my pets. And even when I had more before I, you know, downsized and got out of the industry, I mean, everybody had a name. I knew every single animal that I cared for, and I loved every single one of them. So I understand that there's people in the industry and the hobby that truly love and care about these animals, but there are also the people that are not that naive. They're not blind to what's actually going on. They're just the outliers in this that unfortunately are going to get hit with what the bad people are doing. And I guess, again, if there's enough of you guys that are doing the right thing the right way, maybe y'all need to come together and really put a petition to get rid of, or find a way to get those not so great people out of the industry. I'm not sure what the solution is, just because I've tried so many different ways already to change things, and doors shut in my face over it. So again, it's one of us kind of mentality within that industry. And if you're somebody like me who's half in, half out with the idea of owning, I'm not wanted. Because you need to absolutely be obsessed. You absolutely need to fall in line and be a part of this, or you're not a part of it. So anyways, so just again, anybody from Turtle Conservancy that's watching this, if anybody is, although I may hit up some of my friends that actually work for Turtle Conservancy and see if I can get a poster, because I am so fangirling this right now. Eric Good, awesome. I will tell you probably when I finish if you've done an awesome job or not. I'm sure you will. Tiger King was great. Haven't seen Jim Crazy. I'll do a reacting video, maybe not a reacting, but just like a commentary video on Jim Crazy after I watch, because now I want to watch that, because I've been told like I should watch it. It's crazy. And anybody that's part of Primates, that works Primates, I would love you to reach out to me through Instagram or whatever, through Curious Turtle Instagram, and tell me how that made you feel. Tell me if Chimp Crazy was as